Hi, I'm Ty Hudson, and I'm up next on Quad Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the voice of the ATV Racing Nation, quadradio.net. I'm Rodney Tomlin, and this is Quad Radio Prodigies, being presented to you by DP Brakes. What's stopping you? Don't forget they are number one in centered braking technology and, of course, great supporters of many different teams and individuals across the ATV and motorcycle racing world. I want to say thanks to Larry Mills again for all the support that DP Brakes gives in so many ways. Social media and helping spread the love of Quad Radio is appreciated so much. And remember, folks, I got to ask you, what's stopping you? It should be the only thing stopping you is your DP Brakes. Also want to take this opportunity again to say thanks to our good friends at Root River Racing, supporters of national, regional, and local level racing and riders across the globe, and especially right here in the United States. They are specifically in tune with our good friends there in D6 at the D6 Ultimate Challenge. They've got round 2 coming up of their series. You can check the D6 Ultimate Quad Challenge or Ultimate Quad Series page there. Just simply search D6 on Facebook. Their next race, April 13th and 14th, Sleepy Hollow, says Fredericksburg, Pennsylvania. I always want to say Virginia, but that's Pennsylvania, I guess. We also want to say thanks to 88 Live to Ride, Debbie Partosik, and all the wonderful folks over there that bring the mobile medical unit and so much more to the ATV racing world and riding toward rider safety. And also our good friends at JSR Moto Designs, the creator of all the great Quad Radio swag, embroidered shirts that I wear, the embroidered hats that we have for sale there online. We've got hoodies, T-shirts, and a couple different varieties. And the voice of the ATV Racing Nation, I love Quad Radio. Just want to say thanks to JSR for that. And don't forget, they are tops in the making of the Nerf bar nets. Definitely a great addition to your program if you haven't checked them out for yourself. And if you haven't checked this dude out for yourself yet, well, this is your opportunity as we say hello and welcome to Ty Hudson of Hudson Racing here on Quad Radio Prodigies. And Ty, buddy, I tell you what, you certainly made a name for yourself over the last few years coming out of Oklahoma. Some folks may be familiar with your story. I kind of reckon and recall mainly you may have raced. Did you race any youth ATV races at the Nationals by any chance? I didn't think so. I remember you coming in a few years ago as a novice class rider, if memory serves me correct, right?
Yeah, my first ever year racing Nationals, I entered into B class just to see what I could do. Never raced B, locals, no nothing. I just want to try it. So.
Oh, so you went straight for the juggler. For some reason, I was thinking you started out on a novice program, but the B class. Well, let's talk about that because here you are, man, local guy, like you said. Did you do any local racing, or did you start at the Nationals?
I mean, I ran C class at TKRA. That was my first ever. That was my first year racing quads ever. It was 2015. First year racing quads. I switched from dirt bikes. I just wanted to give it a shot. We bought Johnny Hale's quad, and I went out there and won my first C-Class race, and we just kept doing it. Then after I won my C-Class championship at TQRA, I was like, yo, Dad, let's go try this Daytona race, B-Class.
That was an eye-opening.
Yeah, like top 10, I think. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and then the year next, I went to Daytona and won it, so we kept doing it.
Sounds like you kept doing it well also, Ty.
Yeah. Like towards the first year of my first year of running B class, each race I got a little bit better. Like I would be like 10th in like say like Daytona, and then I would get like 8th at like Texas, and then I'd get like 7th at Ironman. I just kept getting better, and then at the end of the year I got 5th at Loretta's. And I was so pumped. And then my dad's like, okay, I think we should try this again next year, see if we can because I wasn't training at all. I was just going and racing. So then eventually I got to first round of it was 2017 in B class, and I won Daytona, and we stepped up our game that year. So
it was you done set the bar pretty high at that particular point, huh?
yes, sir.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, that's a pretty quick climb through the ranks. I mean, in reality, when you look at the grand scheme of things, here we are. This is 2019. So you started racing. When did you say you started? 2015 was when you won in TQRA. Is that what you said?
Yes, C class and TQRA.
So you had 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 4. We're heading into your 5th year, and we're looking at the Pro-Am and Pro Sport for your class for you already, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty impressive stuff. Now, I do want to talk about that, but I need to put my DP brakes on here real quick, and we need to back up because I want to talk about this. I mean, because like you said, you made a switch to 4 wheels. I see that picture behind you. I see a motorcycle and an ATV. Are you like pointing at yourself there? Is that you? Is that?
That's Thomas Brown right there, and that's Brett Q. That was when they first met. They came out to my house, and we got a cool picture of them jumping my triple. So.
Oh, that is pretty neat. I thought that might be kind of a picture of you, from your ATV.
I got a couple pictures of me and Brett, but none of them turned out as good as the one of Thomas and Brett, just because I think when me and Brett were jumping it, we didn't have a camera guy. During this, we had Colton Richardson, 38 Productions, he's done some of my videos and some of the other guys' videos. He was there this day and got this picture, and we just blew it up, and it was cool. It was also on that video, the I guess we can be friends, that video. You've probably seen it everywhere.
Yeah.
With Brett, Thomas Rotten. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty neat little commemorative picture you got there for yourself. Some good memories, and sounds like you've got a world of memories, and they date back pre-2015. Tell me a little bit about you and riding. Obviously, you were at a race where there were quads, and you jumped on a quad and went racing, but there was racing and riding and all that. So I want to find out all about that. Tell me about that. Tell me, when did you start riding? What did you start riding? Where did you start riding?
Okay, so starting back to where I originally lived in Oklahoma, which is a small town called Kellyville. I lived in between Kellyville and Bristow. So my dad, he was a big time like union welder. He was always across the country welding. So I'm at home with Mom. So there was a store in Sapulpa that we went to called Reese's. In this store, they had a big magazine section, like probably the biggest magazine section you could ever see. So I went there, and that's when I picked up a Dirt Wheels magazine. I think I was like 5. I think I was 5. Picked up a Dirt Wheels magazine and started reading it, and then I was like, oh, motocross magazine, dirt bike magazine, like just all these different magazines about four-wheelers and dirt bikes. And I was like, oh man, when Dad gets home, I'm just going to show him to all of them. So when one day Dad got home, and he started telling me all these stories about how when he used to ride four-wheelers, and like how he drag raced four-wheelers all the time and ridden all kinds of different four-wheelers. And he got a job deal up in Enid, so we moved to Enid. And he started making a bunch of money, and then he bought me my first dirt bike, which was a KLX 110. I think I was like 7 when I got it. And I rode the wheels off of it. And then a couple of years later, we kind of all I had was this KLX, and we sold the KLX, got me a Outlaw 90 four-wheeler from Polaris, and then a couple of years later, he wanted to teach me how to use a clutch, so he bought me a Banshee. First ever clutch bike was a Banshee. I still had it up until last year, and I sold it. I didn't really want to sell it, but
why would you sell it?
I mean, my dad still got his original one from 06. He bought it. He looked forever for that one. You've probably seen it around the Nationals. Gloop posted a couple pictures of it. He literally found it. It was in a crate, bought it brand new in a crate, and we put it together. put Elkas on it, Lone Star axle, Lone Star A-arms, had all lengthened. It's mint. It's cool. I ride it all the time.
That's pretty cool. Those bring back a lot of good memories. So you got the Banshee, and you learned how to shift.
Yep. And we only live from here. We only live 45 minutes from Little Sahara, the sand dunes. So my entire life, I ridden the sand dunes on dirt bikes and four wheelers. Like that's all I knew. Didn't really ever touch a racetrack. Never thought about racing. And then I met a buddy in high school, and he was big into it. He didn't not high school, elementary. Yeah. Met a buddy in elementary who rode dirt bikes. He never raced anything, but I rode with him a bunch. And we started watching motocross and supercross on TV. And me being the person I am, seeing something and like, let's do it. I want to do it. I want to go see if I can do it. I bought we had a DRZ 125, a little trail bike. I was like, I could barely touch the ground. I had to have blocks. I was like 10. They had a race up in Enid in our expo center, and I was like, I got to go do it. So I went and did it, and there was only two of us, and I got second. I was like, whoa, I got second. There's only two of us. I was like, whoa, I got second. And then after that, my dad kind of saw how much I loved it and how much I wanted to do it. So he bought me a YZ85, 2009. And I think it was brand new. No, it wasn't 2009. That was brand new. It was like 3 years old, but it was a 2009. So I should have been. I'm not gonna go into it. I can't do math, but he bought me that. We went to a couple Oklahoma motocross series races, and I did fairly decent for my age group. Didn't really do bad, didn't really do good, just mid pack. And then he got me a super mini, a 150, and I ran that bike, and I was doing decent. I was getting like fifth in like the super mini class. Like I was doing pretty decent. And I was one of those kids that was never fast on I was never fast on a mini, but when I moved up to 250s, I was way faster. But whenever I moved up to 250s, the only thing on my mind was race cars, because my dad drag races cars. Like that's his deal. So I never raced a 250 ever. Like didn't even touch one. Like, wow. I mean, I rode one a lot at the dunes in the pasture. Nothing. Like I was fast on one. Like I went to motocross tracks, but I never went and raced it.
Right.
So all this happened, and then I blew my 250 up, and I had no desire to even touch it. I had my four-wheeler still, my Banshee. And then my dad had his four-wheelers. He had a 09 YFZ and then a 2007 Raptor 700. He had those. And one day I was just like, hey, Dad, I'm gonna go race your YFZ at this race that's coming up in Enid. He's like, no, you're not. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna steal your YFZ. I'm gonna go race it. Stop. I'm gonna go race it. And I actually went out there and I won my first, like, it was like a state fair race, but I went out there and won it. And then my dad's like, you were pretty fast on that thing. Let's get more into it. So we went to we went to Lazy Arena Cross, which is in Guthrie. We went out there, and I won like the first two heats, and I blew it up. I'm like, damn. And that's whenever we got word of Johnny, and then Johnny sold us his race bike. So I took Johnny's like 2014 race bike. Like he had it all redone. Took it to C class at TQRA, my first race ever, and I won C class.
Wow. That was pretty good memory for you, man. And that was the hook, I guess. That was just, I mean, that was just the beginning of it all. So the story goes on from there, I'm sure, right?
Yep. Rode Honda for a little while, and I still like that 09 that my dad had, that YFZ. That was my race bike last year. We've had that bike forever. We've just kept redoing it. That's my baby. I've had it forever. It's got its own name. Its name's Zoe. I just can't get rid of it.
Is that the one you're racing this year?
No, it's a spare practice bike this year. it's pretty much memorabilia for me. It's just it's done. I don't want to ride it no more. It's my baby. So
Right. I totally get it. You got a personal connection, Zoe. When you name your machine, that's whenever you've got a connection with it, and that's usually
I name
whenever.
all.
Do you? So what's the name of the one you're riding now?
My race bike. We haven't released a picture of our race bikes yet because they're gonna look way different than our practice bikes. But I'm naming it Loretta because Loretta Lynn's is my favorite track. So it's Loretta.
I love it. Miss Loretta is going to be your race bike. I'll have to make a mental note of that. That's pretty. What's your practice bike's name?
I think that one's Sarah. Yeah, that one's Sarah. I've had that one. That one's a 2015.
Wow, man. Sarah's got to be a little upset with you not even knowing her name, man. I mean, and you're looking forward to Loretta already. I mean, hopefully these girls are friends, right?
Yeah, Sarah was my race bike at the beginning of the year last year. That's the one I won Daytona on in the A class.
Oh, so you got special memories with her too then, right?
Yeah. Sarah did buck me off at Oak Hill one year, and I broke my back and my pelvis on it, but we've gotten over that. So so glad we got rid of
that. What did you do to her to get her to do that?
I wish I knew. It knocked me out. I don't remember.
You must have been a doozy then. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I like that. I've heard guys. Bryson Neal had one named Hank the Tank. Adam McGill, I think he calls his Gator or something like that. But they're always different names. But definitely, I like the idea of naming your quads and stuff. You're a real personable guy. I'm enjoying our conversation. I want to know more about the hat, and I want to know more about this season. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. Stick around with me, Ty. You too. We'll be right back when Quad Radio Prodigies returns.
Hi, I'm Walker Fowler, and this is a DP brake rotor, and these are DP brake pads. Larry Mills and DP Brakes have been a part of my program for over a decade. Recently, we completed the Heartland Challenge, a 10-hour ATV endurance race that is not only physically demanding, but demanding on my machine and my parts. And that is why we choose DP brake pads. At the end of the race, we had 0 brake failures, and they looked brand new. If you aren't using DP brakes, what's stopping you? Literally.
Quad Radio is made possible in part by Root River Racing, supporters of amateur and professional racing on the local, regional, and national levels. And Root River Racing invites you to follow their Facebook page and the D6 Ultimate Quad Series Facebook page, where you can keep up to date with one of the nation's premier local championships.
Hi, this is Stephanie from JSR Moto Designs. JSR Moto Designs specializes in replacement Nerf bar nets for all makes and models that can be fully customizable to your needs. Our custom apparel can be specifically designed for your race team. We can help make what you wear personal on and off the track, including embroidered or printed hoodies, jackets, t-shirts, hats, jersey lettering, butt patches, and more. Check us out at jsrmotodesigns.com or find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Hi, this is Joel Jansen from Jansen Motorsports. We've been building quads for over 25 years, and now we have stepped up our engine program to a whole new level with 5-axis CNC heads available. Please contact us for details at 920-766-3411. Thank you very much.
And welcome back to Quad Radio Prodigies, presented to you by your good friends at DP Brakes. What's stopping you? And don't forget, they are #1 in centered braking technology. And pick yours up at your local Parts Unlimited dealer. Rodney Tomlin here. Got Ty Hudson here with us as well. I guess he's on that side of me, the way things flip around here. But regardless of where you are on the monitor here when people are watching, Ty, you're at home right now in Oklahoma, correct?
Yep, Enid, Oklahoma.
Enid, Oklahoma, and just to bring everybody up to speed again, you're there. You've got your team, an expanding team. You've got Troy Hill there. You've got Jacob Stevens there. I understand that there's a couple other riders. Are they part of the teams with you as well, Zach Decker and
Zach Decker's not. He's doing things on his own. We got Tyler Wrench on our team. He's a class, yeah.
Okay, and so there's a bunch of you guys out there training. So tell me a little bit about this. I mean, so we know that how you got into racing. We know you obviously got a great personality. You know, I said I wanted to find out a lot more. One thing, the hat, man, the hat. Whenever you came onto the video, I was sitting there and I had my shades on. I thought I would be a little bit goofy, but you one-up me, man. There you go. I was sitting there like this, doing this number right here, and then you pop up looking like that, and I was like, doggone it, man. He's done one-up me right there, and neither one of us.
Glasses match the hat too.
Yeah, they do. They do. Is that like heat-sensitive stuff you got going on there? Does it change colors whenever it gets different temperatures?
No, these are custom. They're called Heatwave Visuals. Like, you can go online and you can customize them, and I customized them to match this hat. So
so there's got to be a story behind this hat here. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so this hat, it's just I'm a big hat guy. I collect hats. I love them. So usually in the summer I'll wear a cowboy hat a lot, and like, because I'm always out in the pasture, like, messing with the cows and stuff. Like, I like my cowboy hats. This one is a mixture between a normal hat and a cowboy hat. So it's comfy and it's a cowboy hat. So
you know what comes from Oklahoma, don't you, boy? Steers and I don't see no horns. I'm just kidding. You've seen that movie, haven't you? What was it?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But Oklahoma. So there. Now I was getting ready to go into the whole racing scene, and you've opened up a whole new can of worms for me. You're a cowboy, really? I thought the only cowboy we had in ATV motocross racing was Travis Moore, and I realized he's a cowboy kind of, but it sounds to me like you might be a real cowboy, like a ranch cowboy. Like, you got cattle, you actually got cows, and you go out in the pasture fields and stuff like.
We got cows and horses. We've had a bunch of other animals too. We got 160 acres and stuff. So lately with the racing, we haven't done as much stuff as we have done in the past, but my roots are definitely pipeliner and cowboy. That's where I come from. So
so you've done stepped in a pile or two of bullpucky in your life then, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's all we got. They walk across the track and leave it, and it gets thrown from the tires. So
you know, it's good for the soil, man. It helps keep the moisture in it and stuff like that. So just keep churning that stuff in. And when it dries out, it burns very nicely. I grew up on a farm too. I remember I used to camp out, and whenever we'd run out of fire, I'd light fires with it, and it was like burning coal, man. I mean, you definitely didn't want to stick your nose over it or nothing, and you didn't want to cook on it, but it served its purpose for heat. So anyway, I don't know why I'm getting off on that, man. I really I did
going to ag class in here.
Yeah, exactly. So, I like the hat. I like the personality. This is something that I really haven't had a chance to get to know you on a level. I'm glad that we're getting to know you on this level. I mean, because as serious as it may seem at the racetrack, you seem like a pretty fun dude. Do you carry the same kind of atmosphere, the same personality at the racetrack as what we're getting right now?
Yeah, definitely. I'm the happiest guy at the track. If you're mad at me, I'll smile at you and I'll hug you. It don't matter.
Have you now? Do you get many people get mad at you?
Oh, I've had a bunch of people get mad at me, but like, it's just my personality. They can't stay mad. So.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, if and since you guys may be friends or may not be friends now, who's been your biggest nemesis in the ATV racing world?
Oh man, that's hard. I'm like such good friends with everyone. I don't really know. I would probably have to say Troy Hill, just because we're pretty much. He's like my brother-in-law. He's engaged to my sister, and we argue. And he steals my underwear, wears it, and it's the weirdest thing ever. He steals all my stuff. He's like, it was in my drawer. I watched you walk into and steal it.
That's the first question I'm going to ask Troy if he makes the podium. Whose underwear are you wearing today?
It's true though. We buy Ethica, and I'll get a cooler print, like it's different, and then Troy's just like, he's like, oh, it's cool, dude, and he'll steal it.
That's great. so oh, I don't even want to go there. I'm not even going to go where I'm thinking. Let's just all right. So wow, you guys do sound close, man. I mean, so that's gotta, I mean, the team, and that brings me to this, man. I mean, this team, this expanding team. Hudson Racing's been around, but I mean, basically, it's been you and you mainly. I mean, probably some other people, but really, it's been about you. But it's a lot more than that now.
Yeah, my dad mostly wanted to start helping people out because he wasn't like as gifted as we are. Because whenever he was a kid, he always wanted to do this type of stuff, and he was never able to. So he's giving people like Jacob and T-Wrench and Troy a chance to be what he couldn't be. That's my dad's side of it. Me, I wanted Jacob, Troy, and T-Wrench just because we're all friends. Like, what better way to work together and actually push yourself is to like come home and be friends with each other too. So like we all get along, we all play video games, and then we go and train and we push each other, and we don't ever get mad at each other because we're friends, and it just works really good when you're friends with the people you work with.
No, I mean, come on now, really. I mean, as close as you guys are, and it seems like even when there's got to be those moments where there's just some tension that goes on. I mean, there's never tense moments between you guys.
I mean, there's
not even whenever really. He's wearing your underwear.
I mean, I do get on to him for it, but it's just you're just like, dude, why are you wearing my underwear?
You got to laugh at it.
I can't get mad at it. It's just like it just happened.
My son does it to me. I've got some pretty cool prints too. I get some of those too. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, where's my underwear at? And here comes my 11-year-old kid out wearing my underwear. And I'm like, he's about as big as I am. I'm like, doggone, man. Those are mine. Yeah, but Dad, these are cool. I want to wear them. I'm like, so. All right, those are yours, I guess. Those are your racing stripes. You keep them. But I wash in hot water, so it's all good. So the dynamics obviously is good. The fun. Do you find yourselves whenever you're riding it, is it this much fun whenever you're pushing each other on the track? I mean, does it make you dig even deeper because you guys are so close?
Definitely, just because we can actually communicate with each other. We know what we do. We know how we work. Like, if we get off the track and we see someone doing something, we talk to each other as friends. We don't talk to each other as enemies. So we're always pushing each other the right way, not the wrong way. So.
Now, is your guys' programs pretty similar? Are they completely different? You guys just mesh on the track and do your things separately off the track? Do you guys have the same diet, the same training regimen?
We're all different. See me, I'm a big runner. Like, I run all the time. So like, I'll run like a 5K like every other day. Like, I run a lot. And then Jacob, he's with the program. Dom does great. I used to work with Dom a while back, and T-Wrench, he does stuff here and there. He switches between workouts with me and Jacob, and Troy, he does workouts with me too. And we all just kind of mix up. Like, we all like to work out different. Like, but like riding wise, we're all doing the same thing. We're all pushing each other. We're all riding the same pace, and we're just pushing each other the right way. So.
All right. Asking you personally, where do you feel going into the season? I mean, here's 3 guys that are going to be racing the Pro-Am class. A couple of you are going to be racing in the Pro Sport class as well. How do you feel coming into this? You guys, do you feel the speed, the level? I mean, you've trained in the past. You know how you stacked up against these guys. We've seen the progression with you moving through the ranks. I mean, are you seeing that right now? Are you feeling that progression like you've seen and felt in the past?
Yes, definitely. Mostly the biggest thing I see is I'm having more fun than I ever have. Like usually like I'll do a bunch of riding, and then like the next week I'm just like, man, I'm not having fun right now. I need to take a break. And like I just can't stay into it. This year I'm able to stay into it because we all do it. We all have fun. We all go do our own thing after and just hang out like friends and stuff. So I'm having more fun this year, so I'm not getting burnt out as easy on racing than I have been in the past.
Are you in a position that this is your job, kind of, so to speak, the Hudson Racing ATV race? You don't have to go try to work and fit all this into your schedule too?
Yeah, Hudson Racing is my job. Like that's 100% what I focus on. That's what I care about. That's pretty much what I want to do the rest of until I can't anymore. So I love it.
So with Hudson Racing, is it just a race team? Do you guys do more than just racing? I mean, do you do service work? 'Cause it sounds like you got some pretty good help behind the scenes too.
Yeah, Nick occasionally he'll get other people's bikes in and work on them, and we all help him. Like we don't let him get tired or busy, and we make sure he's doing stuff good. And also we do a lot of like, if my dad ever needed me to go out into the field, like oil field, I go out there. So like, it's not like I'm just like a sit at home and do nothing type of guy. I'm always doing something. So
Yeah, right. No, and I assume so, man. I mean, you seem to come from pretty good stock. I mean, I'm sure, you know, if you wear your cowboy hat and your boots out and you talk about being in the pasture, to me, it sounds to me like you've probably got your hands dirty a time or two. I mean, some people are fortunate enough that they don't get their hands as dirty as often as much as others. Some never get their hands dirty, and kudos to them if they're in a position that's able to happen. But most of us, I think, have figured out what a good day's hard work is all about.
Yep. Mostly my whole life, I've always just wanted to be outside. I get on my phone occasionally here and there, but I'm an outside guy. I love being outside. If it's cold out, I'm definitely on my phone or on the computer or TV. But if it's hot out, I'm never on my phone. I'm always outside. Good.
That's great. Well, let's look ahead now. You personally, what's the year looking like for you? What are you how are you approaching this season? Texas, days away now, maybe even hours, if you really start breaking it down.
I mean, to me, it's just fun. I want to go out there and I want to give my best, but I also just want to have fun. So, like, I could go out there and get dead last. At least I was there with all the people I love and all the people that I've met throughout the years racing. I just want to go there and have fun and show people that I can do whatever I want. It's pretty much.
But the reality, do you expect dead last? I mean,
no, it's just, if you expect first, you're going to get disappointed if you don't get first. So my whole mentality is just go out there and do your best. Like, don't label what you're going to get or what you think you're going to get. Just go out there and have fun.
I'm going to go ride my best and I'm going to enjoy myself. Now, let me ask you something. With the intensity of the racing these days, man, and you, I mean, kind of really fresh to it whenever you look at the big picture, because a lot of these guys have come up through the youth ranks and so forth, and they've kind of acquainted and accustomed themselves to the speeds, the intensity of the battle, the speeds that go on out there. Do you ever find yourself riding that ragged edge or overriding that edge and getting out there where you're afraid that maybe you're pushing yourself too far?
Sometimes I really, my biggest problem is I get in my head a lot. So like if I go up a jump and I wreck and then I get off the track and I'm like, that jump's scary. Like I hit that jump like 30 times and then I wreck once and then I'm scared of it the rest of the night. Like that's how my brain works. I get too caught up on what happened and what could happen and all this stuff, and I kind of just like let it go eventually, but it's just something that like usually when I get out on the track, it clears my mind, but the whole beginning is just like I get stuck in my head and stuff.
So sometimes you do find yourself in an uncomfortable zone. What do you do in those circumstances? I mean, if you're out there on the edge and all of a sudden you get in your head, do you try to kick yourself out and push through it, or do you back off a little bit?
Just send it. I always I like being on the ragged edge. I don't like getting stuck in my head and thinking all these things, but I do like getting over it. Like it's like the feeling of getting over it that I like.
Yeah, it's like the part of the adrenaline rush, I guess, that you were talking about earlier.
When you fight to overcome something, whenever you finally overcome it, you're kind of like, heck yeah, that's cool. So
well, obviously not growing up in ATV racing and kind of new for it. Ultimately, you said, you want to keep Hudson racing around for a long time. You want to be a part of it. Is ATV racing, is it so much a part of your life and lifestyle? Is it something that you would like to be able to find and be a part of the industry and be around it the rest of your life? Or do you have other goals and plans after racing that you're looking forward to?
I want to be in ATVMX as long as I live. I love the sport. I can't go a second without talking about four-wheelers to like a normal person. That's all I talk about is just four-wheelers. So I think after I retire racing, though, I'm probably going to drag race cars, but I'm not going to leave ATVMX. There's no way. It's my life. It's so absorbed into my body. Like I just can't go a day without thinking about it. So
you're going to be a part of it as long as it's around and you're around then.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Ultimately, at the end of it all, when you look back, what do you hope to be able to say about your ATV racing?
I mostly want to be able to I want to show like my daughter and like my fiance and stuff like that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Like I just had a daughter, Ellie Rose. She's my world. Like I can't.
That's a beautiful.
I can't really explain how much I love her. So she affects everyone on the team. Everyone on the team like just turns into like a little baby when they're around her. They love her.
Ellie Rose. That's a beautiful name. That's such a traditional and beautiful name. I'm sure she's as beautiful as the name too. And obviously she's got your heart, man. And how old are you?
I'm 20 right now.
20 years old. And how old's the baby?
She's 6 months.
6 months. Kind of young. But you know what? That's great, man. I mean, it gives you a little more purpose, doesn't it? I mean, I'm sure whenever you found out you were going to be a dad, it felt like your world might be closing in and crushing in on you, but who would have ever dreamed it was the greatest thing that could happen to you?
Couldn't want it any other way. She's perfect. I love her.
That's great. I'm glad to hear. Now, is she going to be traveling to the races with you and stuff this summer?
Yeah, she loves four-wheelers. She's reaching for them. She loves them. She can't get enough of them. So
we might get the opportunity to meet a future WMX and heck, who knows, just ATV champion. I mean, the way things are going these days, the girls are as fast as the boys, and the women's classes are getting pretty doggone competitive. I don't know if you've been watching and paying much to TT and flat track, but there's a girl that races that's been winning against the guys. That's just been phenomenal. And we've got a lot of women and stuff in motocross and supercross these days that are racing against the guys and doing it well. So, and GNCC, same thing. So, hey man, you might be in this racing game for a good long time, and you might be in the baton corps for a good long time.
Dragging her around all of them.
But whatever it is, that's great. Ty, I've enjoyed getting to know you today, man. I could go on and ask a million questions, especially when you start talking about kids. I'm getting ready to be a papaw or a grandpa. I don't know what I'm going to be called, but getting ready to have a baby in my life, grandson here in October, if everything goes well and we're blessed. So I'm excited about babies. Thank you. But it's been a joy getting to know you. Congratulate you on fatherhood and wish you well. Just be a loving dad, and it'll all fall into place. I think you probably got a pretty good example set by your dad, it sounds like, and your mom as well. Sounds like a pretty good family structure going on there. But parting shots, man. What do you want to say to the ATV Racing Nation and the world here from Quad Radio?
I think if I had to say anything, it would probably be have fun. Like, I just want everyone to go out there and have fun. That's my whole deal, is if you're not having fun, the sport won't last. So
that's right. But make sure you're doing it responsibly, right?
Yeah, don't go out and ruin your life because you want to race four-wheelers.
Because he's saying have fun, there's a lot of work that goes into being able to have fun at the level you have fun at. You train every day, you eat properly, yada, yada, yada. It's not like you're just going out there, I'm going to go race four-wheelers because it's fun. You took it serious to have fun. And, hey, man.
You got to do it the right way.
Yeah, that's it. I was never into training, and I was too old and introduced to the sport, way too old, really, of the national scene. So I never really got a chance to race it. So I'm doing the best thing that I can right here from where I'm at, doing the announcing and stuff. And, I get your passion. I understand it. Any and everybody, racing in general, ATV racing especially, I mean, we're a different crowd of people. I mean, I love my two wheels. I love racing, period. Like I've told people before, there was a video on Facebook I saw of about 50 marbles that somebody had built a little racetrack for.
Yeah, I've seen that video, yeah.
I watched that thing, and I got into it, and I was cheering for the yellow. I think it was the yellow or the baby blue marble. I can't remember, but I was emotionally invested in it, and it was just marbles. So I love racing. I get the passion, and I appreciate yours, man. And I appreciate the personality that you bring to it too, because being serious and having fun at the same time, that's what I do. This is fun for me. I mean, I've sacrificed a whole lot over the years, maybe at the time not realizing that I was sacrificing what I was sacrificing. But if you ask me if it was worth it at this time, when I get to meet people like you, get to know people like you even better, it's been worth it. It's worth it, and it will continue to be. So I thank you, my friend, and I'm sure there's some folks you'd like to say thanks to.
Yep. I'd like to say thank you to my whole team, my mom, dad, DASA Racing. They're killing it with the motors. PP Performance Tuning, Fox. We got a bunch of new sponsors like Ace Coats and Mobius knee braces. We got tons, and then we got KZ Race Prep. He's building all of our motors, and he's building our whole bikes, and they're just evil. I love our bikes this year, and I can't wait to show everyone our race bikes because they're completely different from the practice bikes. So
that's great.
They're gonna be awesome.
I can't wait to see them unveiled. Are you going to unveil them on social media as you head to Texas, or are you going to wait till you're in Texas and unveil it to the world?
I think before we go to Texas, we're going to release them on social media. But for right now, people can just stare at our practice bikes and appreciate our practice bikes.
That's great, man. That's great. Again, thank you for being on. That's Tyler Hudson. I'm Rodney Tomlin, and this is Quad Radio Prodigies.